all of our channels: YouTube, Periscope, and iTunes. If you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. If you're on iTunes, please leave a rating and review. Also, visit us on the sportscast.net for all of the up to date sports news. If you have an iPhone, download our new app. This episode is brought to you by Zach White, Realtor, LAH Homewood in Birmingham, Alabama. Many of you know Zach as someone who's actively been helping kids learn sports and life lessons through Soccer Shots, Wish to Enrich, and Iron Kids Ministries. Well, now Zach has a new way to serve others through LAH Real Estate. If you or someone you know is looking for a home or needing to sell, call Zach at 205 381 7050. I'm your host, over the hill powerlifter, and 2003 Alabama grad, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is the man who is an Alabama legend, all SEC linebacker, two-time author, and when Ric Flair said to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man, he is that man, Marvin Constant.
Justin, you did that so professionally. I don't even want to mess nothing up. My God.
It's hard to believe I'm from Mississippi, isn't it?
Hey, you make the state of Mississippi look proud, man. I tell you what, man, you are probably the most well-spoken person I've ever met from the state of Mississippi. And I know a lot of them, Justin. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to another episode of the Riley and Constant Show. Tonight, we are about to have some fun. And as always, you know it's going to be some surprises. So you got to stay tuned to see what's going to happen, baby.
I'm ready. Hey, Marvin, you know why I speak so well, don't you?
Why is that, Justin?
I went to the University of Alabama, man. That's the only reason. All right. Well, Marvin, we're still waiting on Steve, but we're going to go ahead and get started. We had a great show last week, and we also had an Iron Bowl victory to go with it. This week, it's no different. We got some great guests, and we're previewing LSU. Can you introduce who we have on the show?
Tonight's guest, oh my God, when I say this lineup of guests, you couldn't pick a better lineup of guests, man. One of these guys, you know, I got the pleasure of playing with for one season, watching him, you know, do amazing things on the field. Straight out of Mobile, baby, the one and only Kelvin Sigler.
How y'all doing? Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, brother. The next man up, oh my God, what can I say? National champion, a man of my own heart. You know, when I say the pride of his hometown, I don't even want to mispronounce it because it's hard to pronounce. But it's a little country town in the backwoods of Alabama. So I'm gonna let him. You know, is it Andalusia? Nico Johnson, baby. Nico Johnson.
Hey, that's Andalusia, baby. Appreciate y'all having me on, man. I'm always on it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And if y'all hadn't noticed yet, you see Kelvin Sigler with that JSU background. That's right, coaching at JSU. Nico with his ULL background, baby. University of Louisiana, Lafayette. When you go to BAMA, you do big things when you're done. And last but not least, baby, the one guest who's here, that ain't a surprise. You knew he was coming, but he here. The man himself from Touchdown, Alabama. Don't get him mixed up with Stephen A. Smith because you ain't going to catch him doing that little weak boxing move. The man himself, Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama Magazine, baby. Thank you for coming to join us tonight.
Man, I got ice in my veins, bro.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to Stephen, man. He was on the Paul Feinbaum show. How many times is this now, Stephen?
I think 4.
4. He's becoming a regular, so huge shout out, man. Congrats on that, man. Pretty soon you're going to be on ESPN, so just remember us from back when.
Man, y'all, no, I'm telling you this, y'all making it happen, man. Me, I'm just happy to be here with y'all.
Hey, we're doing what we can given the circumstances we're given.
No doubt. Man, yeah, glad to have y'all on. Let's have some fun tonight. Of course, it's a big week. We know why we're playing LSU. Now it's our favorite segment, Constant Chaos. It's brought to you by Milo's, who has one of the greatest food traditions since 1946. This segment allows Marvin to give us his unfiltered thoughts on issues surrounding the Crimson Tide or college football in general. Marvin, what do you got for us this week?
You know, the chaos this week, it's not from Alabama. When I say the Tide has been playing a lot better ball, especially defensively, I've actually been highly impressed with what's been going on. The chaos that I got for you this week is straight out of Tallahassee. Florida State let another team travel all the way to Tallahassee to not play them again. How do you let that happen for 2 weeks in a row? You done let two different teams board their plane, load up all their equipment, go through pregame walkthroughs the day before, wake up and have a pregame meal to only tell them you not playing. What the hell is going on here? I mean, is gas money free now? Is the ACC just letting people get out of town for weekend trips or something? Because this is the second weekend in a row that Florida State has pulled that crap. I mean, who is continuing to let this happen where you have teams pack up a full plane? You know how much money it costs to charter a plane? For that to happen 2 weeks in a row, you pay for hotels 2 weeks in a row, food 2 weeks in a row, only to not play a game after the team's already there.
Guys, how y'all feel about that? It's 2 weeks in a row. It's unprecedented. And like Marvin said, you let the folks come all the way over there only to tell them, you know what, we ain't going to do this today. It's 2020, guys. Matter of fact, today, I think I read an article where the ACC has already packed up shop for the season, and they're calling it. And they're just going to go straight to the championship game. Did y'all see that?
They just showed that on the bottom line on ESPN that Florida, Notre Dame and Clemson are just going to play for the ACC title.
I don't understand. What is the ACC not doing that the SEC is doing? Because it seems like we have it under control.
We have had quite a few game councils, so I don't know if we're going to say it's under control.
Well, you've been compared to everybody else.
I know the ACC, they was testing 3 times a week because we played Florida State game 1 and we had to test 3 times that week before we played them. So I guess on that last test, it took a while to get the last results, those final results of the last test. So that's probably they had some guys that was positive. They just didn't have enough guys to play.
And can I tell you something, Brother Sigler?
Yes, sir.
I thought y'all were gonna beat them. Y'all had them on the ropes, boy.
Yes.
I just knew y'all was about to take them out.
We had them on the ropes. We kind of ran out of gas, and I hate it, but it showed a lot of our guys, to go out there with that effort and play their hearts out. But we just got to continue to get better, and it helped us the rest of the season. We only had 4 games this fall, but we ended up finishing pretty strong.
Yeah, so let me ask you, so you played 4 games.
Yes.
You off for 3-4 months, and you play again in February.
Yeah, so
that's got to be weird.
It is. It's different. Like with us, our conference let us play, 4 games, non-conference game this fall season. And then, by us only playing 4 games, we're eligible to play a spring season. We're supposed to have a 7-game conference regular season, then playoffs. So, but you have some teams in our conference that chose to play a full schedule. So they won't be allowed to play in the spring because they played 7 games or more in the spring.
Okay. Now everybody who watches this show, they know that I make bets every week. I make a lot of wagers. One wager in particular cost me a lot of money. When the Raging Cajuns took down Iowa State. That cost me a lot of money. But I ain't gonna be mad about this right now because Nico on this show. But they cost me a lot of money that day.
Actually, Nico, that's one of the reasons we got you on the show. We need to collect so Marvin can have that taken care of. He's been salty ever since. So
yeah, man, we're our guys are playing very well for Coach Napier. They're really bought in, even though with the circumstances. As y'all probably already know and saw, we lost a coach earlier this year. So ever since that happened, I think it was like a light bulb went off for players and coaches. Like this is not guaranteed. So every opportunity we take without COVID, our players go out and play their butts off. So that was a golden opportunity off that. We have been working our butts off up until that point. So, we saw it as an opportunity and the players showed up. So it's hats off to our players for getting the job done, man. They are a good football team, as everybody can see. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Well, I looked at the line for this App State game yesterday, and App State is favored by 3, I think. So I was about to place a wager on that, and then all I could think back was to y'all upsetting Iowa State costing me money. So I did not place that wager on that game. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to touch the Raging Cajuns because they're going to probably cost me money again. Even though App State looked good last week, I said, you know what? I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
It's a crazy year, man. With COVID, man, you're not guaranteed to have a certain player that practiced all week, and then a player that didn't get the reps all week, he's got to come in and play. It's tough. I think that's kind of what Florida State is dealing with. And coach will tell you, man, having players that, go out that hasn't got reps all week, it's tough. It's tough. I mean,
yes.
But you know what, though? The thing about this season that I've enjoyed the most is watching the emergence of the Cincinnatis, the Coastal Carolinas, the Liberties. Now you see a lot of the smaller schools dominating. Maybe that's the COVID effect, but you see a lot of the smaller schools actually dominating and playing football on a very high level. Liberty has been putting in work up until that one loss.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina still undefeated. Cincinnati still undefeated. I think it's going to prove to be problematic for the committee as they move into those final rankings because, again, you're sitting here with Ohio State who's only played 4 games and their games keep getting canceled. So how do you take a team that doesn't have a body of work but 4 games and say that they deserve to be in the playoffs? Are you going to overlook these smaller schools who have went undefeated that have been laying a law down?
Absolutely.
I'm going to say this, Marvin, I'm going to say this, though. Keep your eyes on Coastal Carolina's head coach. That guy may be getting the call to go to South Carolina to replace Muschamp.
I wouldn't doubt it. He's done phenomenal work. I actually know one of the players on his Coastal Carolina team. When he's here in Atlanta, I actually train him. So, so I talk to him a lot. So that's why I follow Coastal Carolina so closely. That guy's doing some amazing work there. He's really got those guys to buy into his system and what he's selling down there. I don't think he'll be at Coastal Carolina after this season.
Yeah, this season for everybody has turned into who can manage the COVID situation the best. And that's what it's come down to. And all the teams that's successful have been able to be successful. It's a testament, I think, that it shows that they've been able to, sustain and have, consistent players, and then the play is what it is on the field. So hats off to everybody that's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And
like Nico was saying earlier, he was just saying, like, you have a guy that practiced all week and then he may not be, ready to play for the game because he's tested positive. But, in that case, you got to get everybody ready during the week. I mean, it's hard to take reps from a so-called starter, but you just never know, especially if he hadn't tested positive. You got to get the next guy ready because you just never know. And that.
All right, hold on. Time out. I hate to interrupt you, but it's not. We don't get this opportunity often to have 2 college coaches on here. So I got to ask this question. How do you manage your players during the week to make them do the right things or make sure they're doing the right things? Because we all know at 18, 19, 20 years old, them skirts is out there. That fun is out there. And we all know it's things that we want to do at that age that we probably going to sneak off and go do that we shouldn't do. So how do you get your players to buy in and be accountable and do the right things so that they're not putting themselves in harm's way or their teammates?
And Kelvin, you remember an 18-year-old Marvin, so yes.
Yeah.
Chasing skirts, baby. Chasing skirts.
Just speaking on JSU part, I know everybody else is different. Everybody got different protocols and things like that, but we can control them for us over at the complex. Or, we don't have full team meetings, things will be on Zoom, or if we have position meetings, we got them separate. We got everybody spaced out and things like that. You got your mask on. And then with us, because we're a smaller school, we rotate the offense, defensive meetings. So if defense is meeting, we in our different rooms, we got them spaced out. And now offenses, they're getting taped and things like that. So we may have 45-minute meetings. And then after that, then we flip-flop. So it just basically having that protocol for us keeping the guys socially distant with their mask on. And then also when they lifting weights, we had them in certain pods where you may only have 10 lifting at a time, and then they got different weight times that they go in. But now when they leave the complex and go home, now they just got to be smart. If you want to continue to play the season, then you got to do the right things. You can't go hang out at your buddy house that's, not a football player that your homeboys with you grew up with, you just got to know, you got to understand that, you know, you're trying to play a season, get through a season. So you just can't risk the team and everybody else by just going to hang around everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing on our end. It's the message for us here is not to be selfish, because it's like Coach said, if you want to be able to play and play against the Coastal Carolinas and the App States of the world, you got to be available. And if you're not available, then not only are you hurting yourself by not wearing a mask in COVID and things like that, but lucky for us, like guys like myself, I got COVID a couple weeks ago, and it was hell. So I'm able to stop my players, stop some of the younger and older guys, and tell them like how tough it is dealing with this situation. So we've done a good job of getting our players to police themselves outside of the complex, because we can only do so much. And, you know, we all know a 17, 18-year-old kid going to do what they want to do regardless, but we can only police ourselves. So luckily, we've done a great job outside of here and stayed on top of it. We did run into issues where we played a couple big games without, you know, a lot of starters. But like Coach and I was saying earlier, you got to get the next man up. When is that? You don't know. So you got to always stay prepared. So that, to answer your question, it's tough.
It is.
Because it's a different territory in different waters for everybody.
Yeah, I know
Every
it's
week
tough.
is different.
I know it's tough, and it's been a particularly difficult situation. One of my cousins, shout out to Reggie Sanders, man. He lost his dad last week to COVID, man. So, you know, still praying for you, brother. I'm here for you. You know, got your back, man. I just, you know, that was a tough one, man. When family members are dying from this stuff, a lot of people don't take it serious, man. But, you know, when my dad called me, he didn't sound too good. And I'm like, what's going on? And he tells me what happened. And I was like, you know, what can you really say in that situation? You know, so it's definitely not something that I would wish on anybody, man. I'm glad that you recovered from it, man. So
Appreciate you.
Yeah, God is good.
Yeah, it just goes back to you can't be selfish in these times. I mean, you guys have talked about it. You're not trying to have yourself in danger, but you know your teammates, your family members, people that you know in danger. So it's always better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to live in fear, but at the same time, you want to use wisdom in what you're doing.
Steven, when are you gonna stop being selfish, man? You was on Feinbaum and you didn't call me or Justin. You didn't bring neither one
At
of us
all.
on.
And I
See,
text him
don't-
every day.
Look,
Hey,
I call into his show three times a week.
I sat there and told Feinbaum's producer, I told them folks to get y'all. I don't know what they did. I sat there and I was screaming on the phone, put Justin and Marvin on here. And I was sitting there reaching back in my back pocket, and they like, what is he doing? So I was sitting there pulling for y'all to get on there.
I hear you. Oh, you must have been on mute when that happened, Marvin. I guess that's what happened. Let's talk about some positive, guys. Last week, Iron Bowl, big victory, man. Retribution. What was your first take on that? How y'all feeling about that victory?
Okay,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just me being at the game. Very proud of Steve Sarkisian in that moment. I know it was a very kind of a nerve-wracking week for him, knowing that, you know, this was going to be an opportunity for him to show national people out there that he could coach in the stead of Coach Saban, and did a great job. Game plan was great. Didn't try to be like Coach Saban did himself, and got so many people involved offensively. The defense played off of it. Just really proud of Sarkisian.
What were you gonna say, Kelvin?
No, I was just saying I'm always excited when Bama wins the game, especially against Auburn. But you know, I thought they did a great job with Coach Saban not being on the sideline, which is something different that you haven't seen in a long time. But you know, like Steven says, Sarkisian did a great job of just, you know, running the team while Coach Saban wasn't there, and it's pretty much, you know, Coach Saban got him like how he wanted him, so it's pretty much a well-oiled machine. So, no, they did a great job.
Just wondering if Sark had his victory drink in the Gatorade cups he was drinking on the sideline before the game ended.
I think
he won. Now Marvin. Now Marvin. One thing Sark did do. He did have that Saban hand clap down packed though.
He did.
So I'm wondering if he did simple little something to get that Saban clap down.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call Cedric and ask him what was in those cups.
Yeah.
I think Bama has finally, especially defense, have finally found their identity. I know it's cliche to say, but I think all year they've been searching for that identity as a defense, and I think they found that. And now it's all coming together at the right time. So I'm excited to see how they move going forward, because they're gonna need to show up down the road.
It's definitely coming together at the right time. And I will say this: I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say this: Malachi Moore, best defensive back on that team, hands down. Hey, listen, man.
You're absolutely right.
He has been outshining every other defensive back on that team. I know there's another first rounder who got all the hype going into it. Man, when that young guy has been playing his butt off all season long, man, makes play after play after play.
Yeah, he shows up to the game.
And Marvin, what's crazy is I remember watching one of the first clips that Malachi was out there in practice with the team. He put a hit on Thiu Jones-Bell. And I know Thiu Jones-Bell because I was out there watching him at the Under Armour All-America practice in Orlando, Florida. He put a hit on Jones-Bell, and I was like, who the heck is that? I turned around, I saw it was Malachi. I'm like, this dude is going to be something crazy. Now, a lot of people are right now comparing him to Minkah Fitzpatrick, and rightfully so. You see a lot of similar characteristics instinctively between Minkah and Malachi. The one area Malachi's got to develop in more is when Bama sends him on the blitz, Playboy got to hit home and get the quarterback, because when they sent Minkah was a bullet. Pow!
Yep.
But when have you ever seen a freshman with coverage skills like he possesses?
Minkah, that's.
I mean, I'm saying, coverage wise, Malachi's right there with Minkah. Coverage wise, he is absolutely. I'm just saying, the added element to Minkah's game was when Jeremy Pruitt said, "Minkah, go get the quarterback. I don't care who it is, go get him." Minkah went and got the guy. Malachi, there are times where he's still a slight hesitant on the blitz, but when he picks that up, oh my gosh, it's over.
But you know what? You can see how that directly correlates to the game as a whole for the team, because, again, when you can cover man-to-man, that gives that defensive front more time to hit home and get more sacks, which on Saturday, you actually had that combination worked out well. The pressure and the coverage matched, okay? It finally worked out. It's finally been, because at the beginning of the season, the two weren't working well together, but they're finally working together.
Kelvin, what do you see out of this young man that's allowing him to be so successful so early? He's drawing high praise. We just talked about Minkah being a comparison. I see a little bit of George Teague in him. Matter of fact, George Teague endorses him and has done so openly. I mean, what do you see from playing a defensive back position yourself that's allowing this man just to be phenomenal?
I think just the way he approaches the game, just how he prepares himself. I think he just mentally and physically ready. He's a little bit older than what you think, just as far as he's a freshman, but like he's a junior or senior, just the way he approached the game. And I just think the way he prepares himself week in and week out, for the game, I think that's helped him excel.
Nico, who have you seen on this defense this season that's really allowing them to come together and, like we were talking about, finding that identity and finding success? Can you pinpoint to one specific player, or do you have a couple on your mind?
I can't pinpoint one player, but I think what has made this Alabama's defense start playing better, I think the linebacker core has started, chipping away and being more consistent. Anytime you got your linebacker core in Nick Saban's defense and they're producing, they're successful, the defense runs well. And I think that's what's happening. I think that linebacker core is starting to be more consistent and starting playing better ball. And that's why they're being successful. So I can't pinpoint one player, but I think that group there is starting to be more consistent and it's starting to show as a group.
I'm going to pinpoint one player. Christian Barmore. The boy is finally starting to play some ball up front. That's what I'm talking about. Because it all starts up front. You know, in that 3-4, it all starts in that middle. If that nose and those D tackles ain't holding it down, it's pointless to run a 3-4. So, and he has been leading the way for that group, man. When I say they have been playing lights out these past few weeks, man, I've been so happy to see it, man.
Okay. Marvin got Barmore. Let me throw my son out here. Chris Allen, baby. Let me throw my son out here.
Yes.
Chris Allen, who came off an ACL in 2018. He was not quite healthy last year, but that boy leading the team in sacks, leading the team in tackles for loss. Put some respect on CA. My son, Chris Allen, doing it.
You're absolutely right about that. He's not getting the praise that he deserves. This week, Christian Harris was named as a semifinalist for the Butkus Award. Why isn't Chris Allen being named in the same sentence? He's just phenomenal.
I really don't know. I really don't know, Justin. And to me, he's kind of having the same season that Anthony Jennings had last year. Remember Anthony Jennings, when he came back from the injury he had last year, he had 12 and a half tackles for loss, had 9 sacks, led the team in both areas coming off an injury, and was named the permanent team captain. Chris Allen is having the same type of season. It's just he doesn't talk a whole lot, so a lot of people don't notice when he's in the room. But when that boy is healthy and that brother is playing and he's fierce with it, he's fierce with it.
Let's talk about somebody who might not be getting the respect he deserves when it comes to the Heisman conversation, and that's Devontae Smith. Do you feel like now, after all he's done, that he should be mentioned now with the rest of these guys that they're bringing up week after week? I mean, the guy owns the SEC records, and he's about to get more, and he's been doing it year after year. Why isn't this brother getting mentioned for the Heisman?
I personally think it's because he makes it look easy. You know, he's making it look so easy that people is taking that for granted for what he brings to the table. But you're right. I think he deserves to be in the talk, but because he makes it look so easy, like people is just like, he's back at it again type. So, yeah.
To piggyback on what Nico said, from 2nd and 26, Smith has been killing it. From that touchdown, from that one right there, he has been eating on a regular basis, man. I do think he does not get the praise that he deserves, but he gonna get it when it comes draft time. I'm pretty sure he would much rather have that check than some of this praise anyway.
That's true.
I'll say this, man, and it's crazy to think about, but college football has one prayer right now, and that prayer is, Jesus, don't let Bama get another deep threat. We already can't handle Devontae Smith. If Bama pop another deep threat out here, we are screwed. College football is praying, Lord, please, Jesus, don't let Bama get another deep threat.
Yeah.
And it may be Billingsley. That dude is looking good. He's getting better week after week.
Yeah,
Reminds me of O.J. Howard.
I see more Irv Smith than O.J., but I see your O.J.
Okay. Well, we talked about this earlier, how great Sark has been doing or did in the game. There's some birds chirping now that may have been the on the field interview for possibly being a successor to Saban. Does that have any weight to it, or do you feel that that's just, a water cooler talk?
Me personally, I would be fine with that. I think he's definitely great coach. We all have issues in life that derail us from doing what we are destined to do. But he took his lumps, he sucked it up, and he's been doing phenomenal work at Alabama. Left, went to the Falcons, came back to Alabama. I don't think he came back to Alabama for a second stint just for the sake of coming, because he could have went anywhere. So I think that there was a method to it from that point forward, because, again, you're NFL offensive coordinator. Why would you leave that job to come back to college and do the same job? It's almost like a lateral move, unless you knew that there was a greater purpose to you coming back to college.
Yeah, I think he put himself in a good situation if that ever happened. But, Coach Saban, he's probably going to coach another 10 years.
I was gonna say it right what Kevin just said, man. I was gonna say that right there, because Coach Saban Coach Saban, he's an Iron Man. You really don't know. Like, you can think that Saban's going to be done after 3 or 4 years because folks kept saying, well, Saban had the hip surgery and the hips bothering him in the hip. But Saban out there, 69 years old, stretching and running and flipping and everything. So that hip is not even giving him the issues that people keep saying it's giving him. So while I'm proud of Sarkisian, and I would love for him to be the coach to take over upon Saban calling it a career, because just like Marvin mentioned, he had some bumps in the road, but he's learned from them. He's adjusted from them. And just think about this. Look at how he's gotten Mac Jones this year. I mean, last year, people were like, Mac Jones, he ain't Tua. He won't be Tua. He can't pop it off like Tua. This year, Mac is having a season that has blown everybody out of the water. Like, people's mouths are on the floor. And the reason why Mac, and another reason why Mac is having the success, the play design of Sarkisian.
He's definitely done a phenomenal job, and there's no question about that. And honestly, Nico, you played for Saban. Do you ever see that man stopping? I mean, after he wins a national championship, he's already thinking about recruiting. So what would he do without football?
I remember my senior year. He's told us that he didn't want to coach. This is when Joe Paterno was still living. He didn't want to coach, and be that age of Joe and still be coaching football. So we've always thought, 70, maybe 68, 69, he's probably going to hang it up. But he never stops. I don't know what he's going to do. Like, it's crazy that you say that, because every time we would win a championship or have a successful season, as soon as like that team, like 2011, that championship team came back from New Orleans, the next that next day where we all arrive back to the facility, we have a meeting. All the juniors that's going pro and all the seniors that's gone, they're gone. We have a meeting with that new team, which is 2012 team. And he come in and he tell us, this team here hasn't accomplished anything. Now let's get back to work. And that same day we're working out, so I'm glad I witnessed that, because it's been instilled in me to never be satisfied. I always get the question, what's one thing I learned from Saban? No matter how good or bad things are going, just remember you have room for improvement. That's Coach Saban. Every loss that he's took, that he's been given from other opponents, he takes it personally. And for some reason, it drives him. It drives him. It don't matter how many championships he wins, because he remembers how could I put my defense or my team in the best situation to have beat Johnny Manziel in 2012 or beat LSU, the so-called game of the century. So those games always sticks with him. So he's going to coach until whenever he's done and ready, because I don't think he has nothing else to do. I mean, he's got grandkids now, but he can still do that and coach football. So I'm eager to see, just like you guys are, because he never stops. I think what it's going to take for Miss Terry to tell him, you're done.
You're done.
Let's enjoy the rest of our time and life. That's what it's going to take.
Well, before we get to looking at your careers, let me ask both of you guys this. Y'all both were coached by two of the greatest ever, Kelvin, Gene Stallings at one point, and then Nico, Nick Saban. What were those experiences like, and how special were your relationships with those guys?
Just me with Coach Stallings, just when he was recruiting me coming out of high school, my mom was sick with cancer then, and my mom ended up passing away my senior year of high school. But Coach Stallings came to my house to do a home visit, and by that time my mom was bedridden. She had chemo and everything, lost her hair, and she couldn't walk. So first thing Coach Stallings did was, as soon as he came to the house, he asked me where my mom was. So I took her to his bed, and he just sat there and held her hand and just talked to her. She didn't know him from the man in the moon. She couldn't talk anything. And right there sold me and said, that's why I was going. I was going to Alabama just because of how genuine Coach Stallings was. But, you knew Coach Stallings, he was a great guy, great leader. And, he knew how to get the team worked up, fired up to play. And, and I always respected that out of Coach Stallings.
Nico, go ahead.
One thing for me was nobody in my family has ever been to college, ever, graduated from college or had that type of education. So when Saban did a home visit, He's there in my home, talking to my mom, talking to my dad. It was never about football. It was all about how he can make me a better man, and at the same time give me the education that parents never had, or anybody in my family ever had. So that's what got me through recruiting, because it was bigger than just the game of football. And then when I got to Bama, I always wondered why he was on me hard. And the older I got, the more I understood that he was coaching me as a freshman or a sophomore. He was coaching me as a senior or junior I was going to be.
Hey, Nico. Sorry, quick interruption. Justin, somebody's knocking. You might want to get that one. All right, go ahead, Nico.
I got two of them. So, well, Steve just left. Holla at your boy. Tell him to get back on here. All right.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the Riley and Constant Show.
How you doing? This is Victor Arocho.
What's going on, man?
Hey, Justin, that's not who I was talking about was knocking, though.
Well, that's the only person I saw at our virtual door, so to speak.
Somebody's coming to the door. Sorry, Nico.
Nah,
No, that was me before. That was me before when I peeked in, so he knew I was there.
Victor, welcome to the show. Real quick, thanks for coming on. What questions do you have for these guys here? We got a great list of guests here. You know, Stephen M. Smith, he was with us on our meeting a couple of weeks back. We got NFL great Nico Johnson and one of the best defensive backs Alabama's seen, and Kelvin Sigler.
That's awesome. You guys have a great show. I like Alabama as a team. I'm not an Alabama fan, so just don't shoot me down. Now, you know how to get on the phone. Where's Steve Brown? Is Steve Brown on the phone?
Not yet. He's actually doing something with his daughter. He is trying to get on, but
I got to add some color to the Crimson Tide. So what do you guys think about those? I got questions for you. I could ask you questions for days. I just wanted to get one out because you guys are fantastic. What do you guys think about those 2 plays for Jalen Hurts?
Who wants to take that first?
Bueller, anyone?
Well, I didn't get to see the game last night, so I can't comment on it. I just heard him like 2 plays.
I forget about watching it. He went in for 2 plays and they yanked him.
Hey, hold on. Justin, you got to let this guest in. Sorry, Victor. But this guest has limited time, so we got to get to him.
Yep, and this is a big one.
I came into last time Steve Brown said that you guys are too quiet, right? So I'm coming. What happened?
Victor, you got to hold on. We got to get to this guest.
Yes.
Let him in.
I'm sorry.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling this was who you had coming.
Let him in.
Man, I am so excited about this, to have this guy on here. Marvin, do you want to introduce him or
the one and only, baby, Mr. Andrew Zhao. Let my guy in.
He's in.
I'm sorry.
What is going on, Andrew? Man, it's just true honor to have you here.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, you on with Kelvin Sigler and Nico Johnson and Stephen M. Smith.
What's going on, Zao?
What's going on, man? Let me try to get this thing right, man.
I got you. You don't know how to work. You don't know how to work it, huh? Too old.
He's calling on a flip phone.
Stop,
y'all.
Oh, good, man.
There you go.
There you go.
We got life. We got life.
I have a coaches meeting, a luncheon, dinner actually. But so we getting ready for that, man. How you guys doing, man? You got the old head on. You talking about Kevin Sig?
I am the old head.
Yeah,
I'm the old head from 95, 98. I'm the old head.
Yes, sir.
You know, I had to baptize you when you first came to Bama, when you was over there on the scout team quarterback. I used to wave at you in the middle field safety.
That's right. I used to pick y'all apart.
Come on now.
Look, and you know what? You know, I wear glasses too, but my man, I didn't expect Sig to have on the specs. You know, last time I saw you did have on specs. So that's right.
I take my every now and then.
But man, hey, Constant, we used to do these boys, man. All the time. I was on scout team. Them boys couldn't handle us, man.
Marvin, will you please stop listening to him? We made him who he is today now.
Hey, see, you know what? It goes 2 ways. Because when I was a freshman, I used to do them in when I was on scout team.
Hey, I can't. Can you see this?
I was disappearing.
Yeah.
Man,
virtual background is making it disappear.
a virtual background. Let me take this off. Technology, man. Us Mississippi folks, we can't do anything right, man.
It's got Indo plumbing. Yeah, y'all just moving up in the world.
Man, we just got electricity last week, and we got America Online. We can
Dial up going on.
man.
Well, Justin, we don't have much time with Zal. So any questions you got for Zal, you might want to spit them out now.
Well, I absolutely got a big one. It's LSU week, and man, this man right here is responsible for one of the best comebacks in Alabama history. Went down to Baton Rouge, and it's true what they say, the Tide don't lose in Baton Rouge. And in 1998, this man right here was responsible for a great comeback. Andrew, can you kind of relive that for us and talk about that game?
Man, I was a dumb redshirt freshman, not knowing what I was doing. And Sid can attest to that. I was just out there having fun, playing ball, man. And at any time I got in trouble, man, was get the ball to Sean Alexander or Quincy Jackson, man. And those guys just made play after play. And but I go back to that game and watching so many plays being made late in that game. And we're basically out of it. And they were pretty much celebrating. Man, come back and throw 2 touchdowns at the end of the game and win the game. And then, of course, I embarrassed myself after with the interview of trying to give shouts out back to my hometown and all that stuff.
Now, Zal. So you've been the freshman right now, coming back with them 2 touchdowns. After the last touchdown, how did it feel that you went to the guys and said, "I brought us back, though"? I was just happy to be a part of what was going on, man. I go back and think about like guys like Sig, man. They kept you honestly as a freshman. You never got too big headed because those guys, they've been there, they've been around, and just to be a part of what they were doing was big for me. So, man, big win for us. But man, what a game! What plays the guys were making late in the end. Jason McCallie getting the onside kick late in that game, and us being able to come back and win that game. But you go back that season. I mean, I came in as a backup, but towards the end started playing a little bit, and getting baptized by, like Sig said, man, baptized by fire my freshman year. So when I got the opportunity to get out there and do it to someone else, man, it was fun. But yeah, that game, man, I was part of the comeback, but you go back to that offensive line with Chris Samuels, man, I can never say enough about him. And of course, everyone knows about Sean Alexander, but there were plays made by so many people in that game. Marcus Spencer picked the game. Well, actually, he picked it off in the end zone and was slowly bringing it back.
Slowly is the key word. Slowly bringing it back.
But that's my guy. But Train was bringing that thing back, man. But no, what a great game though, man.
No doubt. Real quick, Nico, I know you got some things you have to do tonight, man. I know you had to step out, but I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us and spending time with us and talking Alabama football about what you're doing now.
I appreciate you guys, man. Anytime going forward, whenever I'm free from coaching, I would love to be back on and pick you guys' brain, man. This is crazy, sitting here, watching you guys like Coach Zal and Marvin and all these guys and Sig. Like, I grew up watching you guys. I don't want to, make you feel old or nothing, but
too late.
Before I got to bed, like, legends to me. What I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy that hear y'all talk the stories because it's games that y'all are talking about. LSU game was always my best game. Watching the comeback and everything like that. Like, it's a bittersweet moment for me. So I appreciate you guys having me on. We're still at practice right now. So
well, before you go, I got one question for you. Your best LSU moment, if you got time.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a lot of them.
My best LSU moment was the 2012, my senior year, where we was down. I think we was down almost 2 touchdowns. That's a game where TJ Yeldon, caught the screen pass from AJ McCarron, but everybody talks about that, but they don't talk about the defensive stops we got in a row to give them football back to go down the score.
Right.
So that's one of my proudest moments there, to be able to, backs against the wall, with some guys that nobody thought we was going to be able to do back-to-back, be able to win back-to-back championships that year. So that's one of my proudest moments, to be able to go into Death Valley and come back and win the way we did. So that was, my proudest moment. Just honestly, just that. Because, I mean, we had so many, times where we had success while I was at BAMA. That's probably one that sticks out the most.
Well, one of my proudest moments is getting on here.
Welcome to the show, your favorite comic, Steve Brown.
I'm wondering why he looking like he about to do a kick though right now with that skull
Hey,
cap.
man,
Who you about to go rob, man?
Hey man, look. I had to sneak out of my girl's game. I went from playing football to being a football coach to a cheer dad. Now, oh my God, and their team getting beat so bad, everybody just standing there looking, just like y'all. So you know what I did? I started cheering, so they put me out. So that's why I'm out here calling y'all.
Oh, Steve, you started cheering, man.
Yeah, I had to cheer, man, because my daughters, they wasn't cheering because they was getting beat. They was getting beat by like 40 points. So nobody had any school spirit. So I just started doing the old Central High School cheer. And but Central High School are the Falcons, and these the Bulldogs. But the team that's beating my daughter's team, they're Falcons. So they thinking I'm cheering for the other team, and they done put my ass out the game. So I'm pretty sure my 7th grader gonna get suspended tomorrow because of her daddy. But you know what? We're gonna keep it in the family because I stayed suspended. So it's okay. It's okay. How's it going, fellas?
It's good, man.
Hey, Justin, so did you enjoy the show, man?
Man, I wanted to talk about that. Y'all, Steve was here in Jackson this past weekend. I had a great time.
Hold on, Justin. It was me and you and nobody else, just me and you.
That was it. I got the VIP show is what it was. I got the VIP ticket. But man, it was absolutely amazing, be able to meet you in person. We've been doing this for a while, but seeing you in person was great. But more importantly, seeing a legend in action, that's huge, man. So it was an honor to be able to watch you do your thing. I had a great time, man. You had me laughing. It was great.
Hey man, the best part, man, was the old lady you brought, man. That threesome was amazing. Oh my God, how old was you? 90?
That
This man.
that was sponsored by Icy Hot.
Oh yeah.
Andrew, Steve, you on with Andrew Zhao, Kevin Sigler, and Nico Johnson, Steve.
Yeah,
So,
I know it, man. I know it. Hey, Andrew, he pretty much came in as a backup quarterback and turned the whole season around. And Kevin, I appreciate watching Kevin getting beat all the time, and and Nico waited to the last game of the season to tackle some damn body, so I appreciate it.
well, I've always wanted to ask you a question, though, Zal.
Okay.
Freshman year, Sig, you were there too. When we were playing Florida in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
What went through your mind when you seen Mike Peterson hit John David Phillips and end his day, and knowing you had to go out there against Mike Peterson and Javon Curse?
Literally was like, I'm glad I'm not out there when he got hit. And then it was like, Zal, you in? I was like, what? This ain't no what? But no, man, it was sort of scary and exciting because I had 2 teammates that I played high school ball with, man, and really enjoyed the game. But I don't want to talk about that game because I made a freshman mistake at the end. See, don't laugh, man. It was a dumb freshman mistake, man.
You were just trying to make a play.
I know,
Exactly.
man.
We almost won that game, but at the end of the
Hey,
day,
if somebody don't fall down, you never know.
Exactly. If Seahawks don't fall down, we win that game. But hey, look, before I get out of here, man, I want to say, hey, man, it's great seeing you guys on here, man, and love seeing you guys. But I gotta go, man. But I want to say this, Constant. I got on that workout with that book, man. It's perfect, bro. Kicked my butt though, but I loved it, man. I'm starting to see changes already, bro.
hey, well, man, anything you need, I'm here for you, man.
I appreciate it, man. You guys be big, man. I gotta go, man. You guys be good. Call me anytime, man. I got it.
All right, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you,
All right,
Andrew. We appreciate it.
Hey, guys, listen, I'm driving, so as soon as I get to the house, I'm gonna plug right back in with y'all. Okay?
Sounds
All
good.
right. So, see, I
I'll
gotta
be out
ask
in
you
a
this.
minute.
Yeah.
See, let me ask
Yeah.
you the same.
Oh,
But when you
yeah.
seen John David Phillips take that hit from Mike Peterson, what went through your mind? Because my mouth dropped. I was
I
like, how do you not see him running straight? It wasn't even from the back. It was straight at him.
Look,
So,
Hey,
I
I'm
really
gonna
just
tell you.
going to that game, that Florida defense, they had some guys on defense. They had some dudes out there, but when he took that hit, I just felt bad for him. Now I just hope he got up. You know that.
hey,
Florida
look,
stuff.
he looked like Nate Robinson out there. When he
Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't do not. Not.
hey, Justin.
Marvin, I'm gonna get you for that one, bro. I'm gonna get you for that one.
Phillips.
Now.
God ain't
Hey,
gonna bless
listen.
that one, Marvin. That-
John David Phillips looked like Nate Robinson out there at the. Okay, you do know who Mike Peterson is, right?
of course.
Yes, I do.
Mike Peterson. I mean, it wasn't from the backside. Literally, he comes off the end, runs straight at John David Phillips. He's just looking downfield, patting the ball. He never turns. And when he folded him up like one of them old cheap church chairs, man. Look, JD just laid there. And I was like,
He took a lick now.
he never played again after that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He
never played again after that.
He played Marvin. He was playing church league basketball after that.
No,
You
okay.
know, I always wanted to ask Zai what was going through his mind. Because if I got to watch him get hit like that, and it wasn't even from Javon Curse, who was on the other side. Like, y'all can't put me back here quarterback knowing that I got them two dudes over there. I'm good.
Who-
Hey, Marvin. Hey, Marvin. I gotta make a business decision.
Right. I got Javon Curse coming from my blind side and Mike Peterson coming from my front side. I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna be over here.
As far as the LSU game, guys, do y'all see this now as a rivalry? I put a poll on Twitter. 83% of the people who voted say that it is a rivalry now. From y'all standpoint, do you feel like it is a rivalry, or is it just a normal game?
I'll let Mr. Sigler answer this one first.
Me personally, I think it's a rivalry. You know, just playing in Baton Rouge to me was one of the best atmospheres that I played in. Just me personally, I can recall back in '96, my sophomore year. We walk in the stadium and they student section already there. They full, they just excited, they lit. And I remember Coach Starling, he walked straight up to the student section and just started raising the roof, and they got all us excited right there. We ended up beating them 26-0 and everything. That was my first start at safety. And actually, I thought I played good. I had like 5 tackles and 2 picks. But of course, Sean Alexander ran for 291, so all they did was talk about the offense.
There's always that guy who got out.
Yep. He rushed for 291 and 4 touchdowns. So hey, as long as we got the win, that's all that matters.
So, see, I got to ask you, man, you had the pleasure of playing with some Fernando Bryant.
Yeah.
Deshae Townsend.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Jackson.
Yeah.
A few other very great DBs back there. What was that experience like for you to play with two of the best DBs that ever come out of Bama in Fernando and Deshae?
It was a great experience. Fernando and Sean and Chris and I, we all came in the same class, in '95. And Deshae actually was my host when I came on my official visit. So, just Deshae leadership and, the way he played the game, you just loved him. And he was a true leader. And, Fernando was a great player. We stayed on each other a lot. We, always competed because we wanted the best out, for each other. But, those two guys were really great DBs. And then you bring up Kelvin Jackson, who was All-American there. He just made plays. He was physical. He's going to make plays. But, just Fernando and Deshae were great corners.
What are the, I guess, who was the guy that you really invested in for that next generation after you left? Those guys invested in you when you came in. Who did you really take the time to mold and to mentor to carry on the torch once you left?
Definitely. I always stay in the DB room, safety room. So you had Tony Dixon coming up, Marcus Spencer, Kelf Bailey, those guys coming in. And Jason Jones was in there. He was a young guy, came in. Him and Kelf played at Central with Marvin and everything. But, Tony Dixon and Marcus Spencer, just talking safety wise, you knew there was going to be some good players back there, and they made some plays and things like that.
So, Stephen, let me ask you this. Covering Alabama football, you've covered a lot of games, a lot of big moments. What do you think has been one of the most pivotal moments in the Alabama LSU series to date?
Okay. So for me, that would be the 2014 Iron Bowl, because I was actually not the Iron Bowl, but the LSU game, because I actually covered that game. And I remember the summer before that game, Blake Sims and I are good friends. We took classes together. And I remember that summer, Blake Sims and I were at Mary Burke East Dining Hall. We was having some cheeseburgers and some steaks. And we sat down at the table. And Blake and I are having this conversation about Jacob Coker coming in from Florida State. I'm like, Blake, man, this Coker kid, man, he legit. Blake says, Steve, what you talking about? This is my job. I'm like, bruh, I feel you. But this Coker boy, Blake said, bruh, this is my job. I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but bruh, Blake Sims, he literally stared at me. He got up. I'm telling you, his burger was packed toward the ceiling. He got up. He put his plate down, didn't touch his food. He walked out the dining hall. And I'm like, did I just tick Blake Sims off? Like, what I did? and then you get to the actual game against LSU, and it was not necessarily his best game statistically, but the way he was able to run and throw, and then the pass he had to Christian Jones to set up the field goal, I'm like, how did Blake get out of that to make that throw? And then the field goal by Adam Griffith had me all in my feelings, because I'm like, Griff hadn't made nothing in practice all year. So Griff makes the field goal. And then, Kiffin calls the trick play to the tight end, Brandon Green.
Yeah.
I'm like, how was he open on the plays? I mean, it was one of the weirdest, coolest games, because I think I set Blake Sims' intensity off the whole season when I challenged him with the Coker conversation, because I have never seen a black man that angry to where he leaves the dining hall with a burger and a steak not in his stomach.
So basically what you're saying is we have you to thank for that victory.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of solid games in Alabama LSU history. I think I might have wrote one of those chapters myself in one of those games. Yeah. I think my 13 tackle performance with 4 or 5 tackles.
Yeah, Pimp Juice. You did Pimp Juice. You did Pimp Juice.
You did.
I think I wrote an amazing chapter in this whole series as well. So I'm gonna need y'all to start putting some respect on my name, man.
Go ahead and talk about that game, Marvin. I mean, it's probably one of the most recognized games in Alabama history. I mean, you saved the day. I mean, It's an absolutely amazing game, and your name will be forever attached, to that game. And no matter 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, we're going to remember that. So take us through that. And I know we've talked about it before on previous podcasts, but it's always special to hear your version of it.
Well, I don't want to go too in depth with it. We got other guests, but I will say this. The one thing that's cool about it is when you look up the history of Bryant-Denny, you Google Bryant, anything that you look up on Bryant-Denny, and that is the one goal line stand that people talk about in no matter what article it is in the history of Alabama football at Bryant-Denny. So a lot of people recognize that as one of the most pivotal goal line stand stops in Alabama football history in that stadium. So knowing that, I will be forever remembered for that, even though I don't get a statue or nothing cool, I'm in several Alabama history football books and other things for that play. But, it was a bittersweet moment. It's one of those things where you got to take the good with the bad. We stopped him. I got hurt, and we all know how that story goes. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed every moment of playing at Alabama. I enjoyed playing against every school, especially LSU. My sister ended up going to LSU to play volleyball there because she didn't want to go to Alabama where nobody knew me. So, So it was just always cool for me to play against LSU. Always fun.
Well, Kelvin, talk about your experiences with LSU. Of course, your coming out party was against LSU in Baton Rouge, like you said earlier, getting those 2 picks, and then you had that memorable game that I just talked about with Andrew when he was on. Which one of those stood out to you the most, or meant the most to you as far as your career?
Well, I would say my sophomore year, '96, just to go in Baton Rouge and dominate like we did. We won 26-0, and like I say, my first start there, really having a really good defensive game for us. 5 tackles, 2 picks, but just watching Sean Alexander and the rest of those guys out there play, you just love being around those guys. And Sean rushed for 291, and then you talk about in what was that, '98? My senior year was I was there. I actually was hurt. I got hurt the 6th game of the year against East Carolina, so I was on the sideline. I had tore my knee then, but just watching those guys out there battle, those guys just making play after play. And, Zal talked about the passes, a couple of times the DB was there to pick it, but he just tipped it and it fell right in Quincy's hands, things like that. But I just enjoy watching those guys play.
So let me ask you this. You talk about the 98 season. What was your favorite moment from the Music City Bowl? No, scratch that. We're not going to talk about it.
I knew at some point you're going to work that in here.
No comment.
Hey, listen. I learned a lot about college football at the Music City Bowl. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You talking about those 5-star accommodations they gave you?
Yeah.
We had fun in Nashville. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
See, that's why he laughing, because he heard.
Obviously, there's a story there, so I feel like we need to bring that out.
Hey,
Kelvin,
we
go ahead.
had a lot of fun in Nashville. I was a freshman. I didn't know. It was my first bowl game.
Know.
I learned a lot from the upperclassmen. That's all.
Is that how you learn how to deal with your 18-year-olds, Kelvin? Is by putting up with this guy?
Oh yeah, definitely. You got. I've been coaching a while, so I can deal with a lot of stuff.
So speaking of that, do you ever look at something that a player did and you be like, well, I did the same thing, so I can't really be too mad at him?
Sometimes I have said that to myself, but I still know if they shouldn't be doing it, then I'm gonna say something. But I know back in my mind, hey, I probably did that when I was his age. So
right,
you just gotta try to help them out.
Do as I say, not as I did.
Yeah, they still young and immature. You gotta lead them, guide them the right way.
No doubt.
Right.
Of course, Tiger Stadium is a crazy place. What's the craziest thing you ever experienced at Tiger Stadium?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I say Tiger Stadium is well known just for its atmosphere, and it's crazy. Yeah. What's the craziest experience you had while you played there?
Nah, just how rowdy the fans are. I tell you one thing: when we did walk in the stadium, that's when they had the Tiger sitting right there when you walk out the dressing room. So that right there was a little intimidating at first, because that was my first time seeing a live Tiger like that, and he just staring, sitting right at the cage as you walk out the dressing room. And you like, hold up, you don't even want to walk that way. But just how rowdy the fans are, and they don't hold their tongue now when you walk by them now.
Imagine not. Well, before we turn to the LSU game this year itself, talk about your best memory as an Alabama player altogether. What was your favorite moment?
Let me think.
If you can pinpoint to just one, I know it's hard. You got some great memories.
Just me personally, just going back to that '96 season, I thought we had a really good year, and just in the Outback Bowl when it was Coach Starling's last game, we played Michigan. Charles Wilson was there and things like that, and we ended up coming back to win the game. And just playing that game, I was so excited. The night before, my roommate was Cedric Samuel, and he played safety, so I'm just so excited to play the game. I probably didn't go to bed by 2 or 3 o'clock. I'm a sophomore. I'm bouncing around in the room. He trying to go to sleep because we got to play. I was like, man, I'm ready to play 9. Let's go. And he just kept coming to take my butt to sleep. But, I just thought that was one of my better games also. And then I just thought it was a great team win to send Coach Starling out with a victory right there, his last game. And that was one of my best moments I can remember there at BAMA. I had a lot of great moments, but that's just one of them, sending him off with a win.
So what was your pregame, your favorite pregame ritual? Me personally, they always used to look at me crazy because we always had snack the night before a game.
Yeah.
I always had to have 2 cheeseburgers and 2 slices of pizza. And they would always look at me like, dude, you fat as hell. Like, how are you eating this the night before you play a and a big bowl of ice cream with chocolate syrup.
I didn't have a big ritual, but I didn't eat a whole lot. I ate spaghetti and steak at the pregame. But back when we played, they had sodas and all that, so we'll drink Sprite and Coke right there in pregame. So yeah, back when we played, they had a bunch of sodas for us, so we drunk sodas.
See, I never ate. I couldn't eat before a game though. So so my last meal on game day would usually be the night before, one of my 2 cheeseburgers, my 2 slices of pizza, and my bowl of ice cream. So
right.
Oh man, hey man, that was yeah.
Big Sam couldn't eat before a game either. Wasn't he throwing up on the bus?
Yeah. Forever. He's the reason why I got off bus 1. Man, come on, man. I can't go play a game like you just been back here funking up the bus, throwing up in the toilet. Man, come on.
Oh boy.
All right, let's turn our attention to this year's game. It's not really on the radar on a national scene, but to us, it was a big deal. What are your thoughts going into this game? Now, we'll start with you, Kelvin.
Okay. I just think LSU is not the team who they were last year. They lost a lot of guys, to the draft and stuff from last year. But a lot of guys are opting out now as far as not playing. Either for, because they want to go pro or for COVID reasons or for other reasons. But, I just don't think LSU where they at for as how they played last year. And I just don't think, it's going to be a game. I think Bama's going to run away with it. Just me personally.
I don't care who on their team. They come out in that uniform. I don't care who left, who they beat them to sleep. Listen, man, I hope it's 70-0. I hope it is a downright beat down. Drag them through the mud. I don't care if they grandmas come out with them uniforms on. Lay waste to them. Beat them bums to sleep. They beat us last year, and they talked all that crap. 2 out there with a bum ankle, and they still almost lost. Man, they got so lucky. Hey, beat the paint off them.
Now, Marvin, of course, I've been listening to everybody right now, so I'm going to come make my play. Now, I agree with you, but here's me making my play. Last year, I was at the game last year, and this is when President Trump was in there, and he had the Secret Service out there. Do you not know that the Secret Service searched your boy 4 times? 4 times the Secret Service searched me. Like my beard right now was a bit thicker then than what it is right now. So one of my photographer friends was like, Steve, I think they believe you from Al Qaeda or something. Al Qaeda? I think you from Taliban, bruh. You might need to cut that. I'm like, why they gonna search my bag twice? I don't got no bomb in here. They like, Steve, I probably think you a terrorist. I'm like, terrorist what? So they sat there and searched my bag 4 times because of that. And I did nothing to have this happen to me. Kill LSU. They had me search my bag 4 different times, talking about they thought I was from Al Qaeda. What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Things you don't see on TV. Of course, one of the
but I knew
Justin,
that
you
was
laughing.
gonna be,
I'm dead serious.
No, I believe
that was gonna be.
it.
Well, here's the thing, though. I knew that was gonna be a bad day. From the start of the day, I did Gary Harris's pregame show that day, right by Reese Pfeiffer, right outside the stadium. So, and I'm just looking at how many people were out there. It was too many people. It was too packed. The president was coming. It was a spectacle. I think the focus was on everything except football that day.
Marvin, I'm gonna say this right now. I think the fact that doing the Gary Harris pregame show prior to that game, that was probably one situation I would have told Gary, hey, Gary, cut this. I ain't going on.
Gary's my guy, man. I always go on for Gary when he calls me, man. But like just seeing what was going on campus, just the amount of people there with the president. And when you talk about Secret Service and all the law enforcement presence, it seemed like it was more of a distraction than anything else. It was like, yeah, we're here to play a football game, but so much of that took away from the game.
One person who's not going to be playing for LSU, as if they didn't need any more bad news, is Terrace Marshall Jr., probably the only one on that offense who can move the ball. He decided, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to try out I'm going to get ready for the NFL. What kind of impact does this have for LSU?
A big one. It's a major impact because now you not only already lost Jamar Chase, your Biletnikoff Award winner from a season ago. Now you lose Terrace Marshall, who's your other sort of vertical number one threat. So now, I mean, you got Racy McMath, but he's a speed guy. He's not a true number one. And then you got the Kayshawn Booty kid, but once again, he's not a traditional number one. So now, and even with Eric Gilbert, who's a talented tight end, when you don't have a number one receiver to create all that attention to them to free up Gilbert, it's a tough situation for LSU because how are you going to move the football? Not to mention Miles Brennan's not playing. So you got TJ Finley, the freshman, out there.
It's not that big of a deal because it ain't like they can throw the ball to him no ways. They don't have a quarterback. Listen, that freshman is about to get destroyed come Saturday. That freshman is – That's
what I'm saying.
Did you see how shook he looked last Saturday against Texas A&M? So –
Yes, I did.
Now you got to play Bama. Oh, that kid. Listen, don't be surprised if he ends up with some excuse why he can't play. He's not going to want no parts in this come Saturday.
How did A&M not score more points on them? I know this is off topic.
I'm gonna say it was raining right now. It was a slick ball, slick field.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say this right now. Ed Ogeron then wrote a check that he know he can't cash, and Bama about to cash this check in a bloodbath way. So if I'm Ed O, I would not be surprised if Ed O called the SEC front office right now being like, hey, bro, we got about 97 kids in contact tracing. We can't play this.
So what you're saying is he should pull a Florida State?
I promise you. I promise you. Like I'm telling you, all week in the player interviews, the players have been talking about, well, we ain't thinking about revenge, but you know Bama thinking about revenge. And even
every athlete thinks about revenge.
Yes.
No athletes take a loss and just say it's fine. No, you beat me, you're going to have to see me again.
Now, and the crazy part of it is, Marvin and Justin, is even down to Coach Saban, right? Coach Saban usually doesn't entertain the revenge question. He actually gave a quality answer on the revenge question. You know it's on now.
Hey, see.
Yeah.
Have you ever lost to anybody and you didn't take it personal the next time you had to face him?
Hell yeah. You know, hell yeah. Let me tell you something. I'm glad to see y'all again. I'm back. So listen. So yeah, I did. And the thing is, I took it so personal until this guy beat me up. And every time I saw him, I fought him. Every time. But guess what? I kept losing. Shit. But every time I saw, because I mean, hey, those guys gonna take it personally. It's gonna be a real butt whooping down at LSU Saturday.
I hope so. I'm calling it 56-3.
One of the things that people will bring up, we just came off a big emotional win. Does that come into play in this game at all? Are we just so pissed off right now because of what happened last year that's going to be completely disregarded and it's just mayhem?
I'll say.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I gotta say this. First off, and
the defense has been playing better, Steve.
I know. That's what I'm about to say, man. Justin and I, we touched on it when we saw each other. Yeah, and I'm like, man, I said, Justin, is it me or the defense getting better? He's like, yeah. And then we continue to smoke crack. But look, the thing is,
but it was cheap. It was Mississippi crack. So,
y'all was smoking meth, is what you saying.
So and you know what? Hey, but check this out. Right now, Alabama, as far as numbers, Alabama got the best defense in the nation right now.
Yeah, these past few games, they have really since that second half of that Georgia game, that defense has really been on the upswing. It has really improved a lot.
So they must have fired Pete Golden.
No, he's still there.
No. See, they haven't fired Pete, Steve. See what they got? They got Pete behind the scenes. They got Charles Kelly running it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
One of the things that Steve and I talked about Saturday night that really stood out to me is the body language of the defense. Completely different way they're carrying themselves.
There was so much energy on that field. Like for the first time in a while, like there was some energy on that field. Like Big Mathis was dancing around. There was one play where Bama forced a fumble. Tim Smith got up, and I thought the earth had shook.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. The thing is, the reason they are full of energy now is because they finally got in damn shape. That's what happened. They finally got in shape. Yeah. Oh, now another thing, I gotta say this too, man. That what's the freshman name, man, who keeps making all these plays?
Malachi
Moore.
Hey, he's a stud, bro. He's a stud.
Yeah, you missed that. We already talked about him for about 30 minutes and how he does not play like a freshman at all.
Hey,
he plays lights out.
Marvin, I don't appreciate you telling me I'm late, low key.
I tell you was late. I just said we had already been.
Look, Marvin, and then Marvin, look, and then you gonna say you missed that, Steve. We talked about it 30 minutes ago. Like, come on, Marvin.
But
Marv, he probably just coming from the Ferg, Marv. You know, he used to do them shows back at the Ferg back in the day when I was in school.
Over there, he is spending money on the act card, getting some double wobbles and some Chick-fil-A.
Hey, man, you know y'all laughing a little too hard. You know that, right? You know that.
But see, I want to ask you, what do you think about Alabama's defense and how they've actually transitioned from where they were at the beginning of the season through that Ole Miss game where they gave up all those points to the Georgia game where you actually start to see them improve to where they are now? To me, it looks like they're playing more zone. They're mixing in more zone with man than before when they were just playing mostly man. So what do you think is going on with this unit?
I haven't watched a whole lot of their games just because, you know, we was playing too on Saturday, so it's kind of interfered. But I try to come back and watch them when I can. I just think the guys just to settle down and, you know, they're getting better defensively. And Golden, he's doing a good job too. But
what?
You got guys on the back end too, Steve.
Wow. What you just say?
You got two new safeties back there also who just first time playing and starting to this year. So they coming along, they doing okay, Steve.
Hey man, why do y'all coaches got to be politically correct? Golden is doing a good job. You gonna look.
You just said they number one defense in the country, right?
You know why? Because somebody else been calling the plays. He ain't even doing it.
Well, see, you might know the inside track. I don't know the inside track right there. I know Pete Golden is the defense coordinator, so.
Hey man, I got the inside track.
Who you calling on that, Steve? Bill Oliver? I mean,
somebody
Hey man, hey, I got two of them. Look at this. Bam. See that?
You know what? Let me jump in here before I start getting too crazy. But I agree. I agree with Sig. But then the add-on what Sig was saying, I think also the guys are not thinking as much now. Because like at the start of the season, you could tell them guys were thinking too hard. And on top of that, it's like, I got to make sure my brother doing his job, but just do yours. You focus on yours. You focus on yours and trust that your brother going to do his. So I feel like now they're not thinking as much as they were at the beginning. They just react.
Hey, Justin, I'm going to tell you what these brothers are really saying. I'm going to tell you what they're saying.
Do.
They are saying that these guys finally learn the plays. That's what it is. And I heard this interview. They were talking about what's the middle linebacker's name?
Moses.
Dylan Moses.
Dylan Moses. They were saying the reason Dylan Moses wasn't in on a lot of plays or in the right position because he was too busy trying to get everybody else in position. And then by the time he'd get in position, the ball would be snapped and he'd be out of position. So they kind of simplified it for him. Did anybody hear that? See that interview or whatever?
Well, I can definitely see that. I mean, last year Xavier McKinney was trying to do the exact same thing and having to make up for a lot of other people's mistakes.
Man, I felt so bad for X too, man.
Yeah,
I felt so bad for X.
Man, that dude, and and he still was making plays, man. It's just amazing what he had to take on himself. But I can see where that could definitely happen.
Oh, but wait a minute. I don't know if y'all saw this though. Oh, because I watched the game in its entirety, while I was in Mississippi, because of course there's nothing to do in Mississippi. Look, let me tell you something.
You go cow tipping?
No, did y'all see? Did y'all see when Ben Davis got to play that one time? And
I thought about you when I saw that.
Don't bring that up, Steve. Steve, don't do that, Steve. Steve, don't do that, bro. Don't do that. I'm sitting here watching. I watched Ben Davis miss a tackle, and I'm like, damn, bro.
And they brought him, and look, it would have been a tackle for a loss. And they were like, all right, man, that's it for you. The dude that got hurt, they brought him right back out there. I'm like, man, and he was like, make so bad. They brought. When Ben Davis missed that tackle, they brought the dude back out there, and they were still wrapping his arm while he was playing. They brought him and the player.
Yeah, he had IVs popping out, and
yeah.
I'm saying, like, I look at Ben Davis, I'm like, bro, what's wrong, bro?
Wait.
Wait a minute. But you know what? I fought you. Yes, I'm telling you in your face. I fought you because you had me excited about Ben Davis. You gave such a grand interview. You were talking about on your channel. You're like, man, watch out, Ben Davis.
Because and the reason why was because he was killing it out there in the practices, and he was finally doing something.
Hey man, you had me so excited for Ben Davis. Like, what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I was so excited, I turned into you. I was like, look, man, Ben is about to do it. Ben is about to do it. I was just that excited.
I am so glad that you brought that up, Steve. I'm so glad because he was all the Ben Davis support crew. He was promoting him for Butkus, promoting him for Heisman. I think he was going to run for president.
I was too, though.
Hey, for real. I had Ben Davis for governor. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, I was with you.
Hold on, time out. Steve, did you just say you turned to me? You put them glasses.
Yeah. Hey, and sometimes he gets so excited he don't even know which lens to look in. He be like, God damn. Hey man, but I'm gonna tell you something. You do such a great job, Steve, until like, man, it's like you just have to get into you because the energy that you put out there, man.
Steve, I appreciate that. And what's crazy is like I was talking to so many folks in the program the entire summer, and all I kept hearing was, "Man, Ben finna do it now. He finna pimp it all in now. He got this thing now." And it was like it got to the last 2 weeks of fall camp. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Will Anderson starting? How that happen?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all something. What's the over and under on him coming back next year since this season doesn't count towards the eligibility?
Ben better get his button transferred. Get in that portal.
Amen.
Get in that portal.
He needs to come over here with Coach Prime because it ain't gonna happen at Alabama.
Hey man, let me tell you something, man. I promise you, man. I had given up on Ben Davis until I actually heard your report. When I saw your report, I'm like, man, okay. And some more partners of mine that live in Northport, like, man, Northport, we were talking like, man, Ben about to do it. I'm hearing a lot of great things about Ben. And then an article was written. I'm like, okay. Because honestly, Ben is the biggest linebacker we got. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's the biggest one. And I'm like, okay. And then
he's also the oldest one.
Right. Yeah, I think he's
Dr. Davis.
I think being like 27, I think. Look, so but the thing, if Ben is 27, that means if he went to BYU, he'll be a freshman. But look, but the thing is, man, I was Marvin, you don't understand. And Marvin, this should have hurt you. This should have hurt your knees again. Let me tell you something. Ben was right there on the tackle. And he would have tried to do for a loss and the dude turned him all the way around.
Oh, I seen it.
And you ain't seen him no more that game. I'm like, God, no, man.
Man,
Hey,
I
man.
saw that. And
Hey, now, who was the guy that got hurt? It was, I think it was number 4. I think
Chris
got
Allen.
Chris Allen.
Chris Allen. And look, when Ben did this, y'all think I'm playing. They rolled Chris Allen back on the field from the ambulance. And like, get back out there. We just play. Just do what you do.
Do what you do. So which players are going to have the biggest impact in this game Saturday? And if you want to say all of them, say all of them.
Oh, Lord.
I think, of course, you know what, honestly, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb. Even though I don't like Pete Golding, I'm gonna say the defense is gonna be they're gonna show the world that they've improved. They got a lot because LSU kind of showed out last year. So I think the defense is really gonna show out this game. I'm kind of bought in.
Well, this past week, I seen them do a lot more zone blitzes with that zone coverage behind it, opposed to that with man coverage. They actually seem to play a lot better when they have zone defense behind those blitzes. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that this week. I really think that they're going to come after their freshmen. I don't think their freshmen going to have much time to do much of anything on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to seeing those outside linebackers and those in that defensive line just feast. I'm looking forward to seeing them eat. I wouldn't be surprised if they had at least 5 sacks on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I think the defense, like they've been getting better and better, and I just don't think LSU is going to be able to block them up front.
Another thing, man, what surprised me, Marvin, and they are now starting to get to the quarterback, and I was really surprised.
They did it off the jump Saturday too.
Yeah,
and the thing about it, Bo Nix is a lot more agile, and he moves better than his freshman that they're getting ready to play on Saturday. So Bo Nix got out of some situations that he probably shouldn't have got out of. So I don't think this freshman on Saturday is going to have that same luck in getting out of some situations. I think they're going to pin their ears back, and they're going to tee off on him every chance they get. I think he's going to see more pressure than he's probably ever seen in his life.
I'm going to say this right now. So it took 5 games in 2015 before Tim Williams got his first sack against Georgia. Will Anderson, everybody compares Will Anderson to Tim Williams. Will Anderson finally got that first sack against Auburn. He about to go off for real now.
No. Wait a minute. You know what? Will Anderson has the potential, but can now you're an expert at this. He can probably get to the quarterback, but he cannot make the tackle. Every time he does not wrap up, he has the person in his grasp, and he's always slipping. They always slipping out of it. I've counted it myself. He would have at least 5 sacks right now, or 6. But they always break his tackle.
Well, not 6. Try 12. He would have 12 right now.
Yeah. He can get quarterback.
He's right there. And what's crazy is he right there, but as always, he'll either spin too much in or they'll bump him too far out. And then when he tries to cut back, the quarterback, he's always a foot away. He's always a foot away from the quarterback.
But a lot of times he'll have the quarterback in his grasp and they'll slip right out.
I think that's all about to change. I think Saturday, this is going to be when we see him tee off. A lot of people actually compared him to Derek Thomas at one point before the season. I know that's
hell no.
That's high praise.
Hell no. You know what? Two outside linebackers you can't compare nobody with. That's Cornelius Bennett and Derek Thomas. You just can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't know who said that. Who said
Now, Steve, I gotta ask you this then. So when you mention Derek Thomas and Cornelius, a lot of times people do not throw Keith McCants in there too.
That's true.
Why McCants always been left out?
He's isn't he up for the College Football Hall of Fame too? Because that dude was a baller, man. I know his NFL career wasn't what everybody expected it to be. Man, in college, there wasn't anybody better.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Keith McCants was off the chain. I remember one time I saw him. He was fighting some dude, He hit the dude. The dude was in Tuscaloosa, and he slid to Northport. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? He went all the way over the bridge. I'm like, how the hell? He was a stud. He was a stud.
He went over the bridge.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen Smith, you've been good at this each game. Giving us some unknowns, or not unknown, but somebody a young kid who's going to show out. You've been great. You've been on point with this. Who is that young kid who's going to show out in this game Saturday?
Oh man, young kid that's going to show out in this game Saturday. I want to say the receiver Javon Baker, but he still got to get the trust of the coaching staff. So I'm not going to say him just yet. I'm going to go this route here. I got a strange feeling, strong feeling. Watch Jace McClellan again this weekend. Watch McClellan again. I mean, when I watch this kid run, I'm seeing 3 different Bama backs right here when I watch this kid run. He's got a little Ingram, he's got a little Drake, and he's got a little Kenneth Darby. He's got a little bit of all 3 of them.
Okay, because I've been saying, okay, but you know what? I like him. But I think the guy that's going to get off to me, and Forstar better watch himself, because that number 19, that tight end, oh my God.
Yeah, Lil, I'm telling you, Jaleel Billings is the next Irv Smith.
Yeah, he's legit. All right.
Well, wait. You mean Irv Smith, the football player, or the crackhead from the West Side? Because I know Irv Smith, he on crack.
The football player.
I ain't know. Marvin, you know Irv. I just wanted to...
Oh, man.
You gotta specify. You gotta specify.
I got the football player.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, let's transition, if we can, to the next part of our program, predictions. So we're going to go around the room and get everybody's take on these games this weekend. Not a whole lot of going on, but they're decent. We're going to start out with number 4, Ohio State versus Michigan State. Kelvin, we'll start with you.
If they play.
If they play, yes.
Ohio State.
Marvin, if they play.
If they play, you got to go with Ohio State, even though Michigan State actually put up a pretty decent game last week.
And they won.
They actually looked fairly decent last week playing against Northwestern. Cost me a lot of money.
I knew that was coming.
Hey, wait, man, wait. Ella, I gotta address the elephant in the room. Is it me, or does Kelvin look like he don't really give a damn? He like, man, my team, so I don't understand what y'all talking about. That's how you look. That's how you look. You don't give a damn about our show. But look, man, you ain't right, fella.
You just getting on, Steve. We've been here out.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelvin looking like, man, look, y'all ain't saying nothing about Jackson. Y'all ain't saying nothing about the game culture. And then what
we already talked about that.
We did that in the opening.
We did that in the opening.
What's your season looking like?
We just played 4 games in the fall. We went 3-1, and we got to have a spring season.
What? You making a difference? What? Look at you.
What are you talking about, man?
I'm just messing with you, man. You know you my dude.
Steve Smith, who you got? Ohio State or Michigan State?
Buckeyes.
Which Steve? Which Steve? Now,
it's your turn. It's your turn.
Both of them now.
I think you just found a new video to make for Instagram.
So you want Steven or Smith or Brown?
Brown, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm going with Ohio State in a close one.
There's always that game where Ohio State pulls in Ohio State and they make a mistake against someone they shouldn't. It could be Saturday. All right, Texas A&M against Auburn. Kelvin?
I ain't gonna root for Auburn. I'm going Texas A&M. I got Damian Craig there. I know Damian Craig.
Marvin?
You got to go with Texas A&M. They've been playing some decent ball. They struggled a little bit with LSU, but it was in the rain, so I'm not gonna hold that one against them. I think it'll be Texas A&M in a close one, but they'll get it done.
Smith.
The battle of the two coaches I can't stand.
Oh,
Give me A&M by 3.
oh, okay.
So it's gonna be a close game.
I don't think it's
I
going to be
agree.
a close game. I don't think it's going to be a close game because Auburn's will to finish the rest of the season is gone.
I think so.
I mean, the Bama took all that, so I think they're going to get blowed out. I mean, it's going to be a game with nobody watching, but Alabama is taking. Yeah. And Marvin, let me tell you something, man. Stop betting on these games because every weekend you come up and tell me I lost money on that game. You're gonna be home soon.
I've been getting killed this season, man. I've been getting killed.
Hey man, but hey, if you get it, you come over here and stay in my trailer. It's cool. It's a true story.
Hey, look, my other half, she don't you lose too much money this week. Yeah, I got this.
Okay.
Steve, based on his Instagram videos, if he starts losing more money, he might have to start stripping.
Something, yeah.
I mean,
Hey, Marvin, let me tell. By the way, Marvin, let me tell you something, man. Look, don't you never in your damn life take your shirt off and look in the camera like this at me. I'm like you was doing a video and you got all in the camera.
man,
You not see? I thought he was looking at me. I'm like, nah, Marvin, bro, don't do that. He like,
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm like, Marvin, don't do that. Don't do that. And I was by myself. I started looking around like, Marvin, what are you doing?
No, he wasn't ready.
Oh, I know Steve. He gonna get me. I ain't worried about it.
Now you've been giving me for the last 2 weeks, bro. So hey,
3 actually. I mean,
oh wow, Justin, you in on this, bro? You in on this, man?
I just here for the show, brother.
Hey, I noticed Justin
but
like
real-
to flip flop a lot. He
But
like to go
Steve-
from one side to the other. See,
Steve, when I saw that video, I was like, "Am I on Instagram or on Pornhub?"
Yeah.
I didn't know what
really,
it was.
Justin.
I had to call Marvin. I was like, Marvin, don't you never look in the camera and talk your lip again. I'm like, Marvin, just work out. You ain't got to do all that.
Hey, you know, I'm gonna let y'all have this one.
Hey man, hey, and then Justin, while the video was going on, my grandma passed by. She's like, who was that young man? I'm like, bro, get the hell on. Hey man, you better chill on that. You have my grandma sending you some green stare Man, let's go with these predictions.
All right.
Man.
Number 12, Indiana versus Wisconsin.
Say that again.
Number 12, Indiana versus number 16, Wisconsin.
And nobody watching that either.
I'm gonna go with Indiana. I work with Coach Womack at South Alabama when he's defense coordinator, and then you got Jason Jones, who's the safety coach there, a good friend of mine.
There's one thing to mention. They just lost their quarterback for the year.
They did.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Indiana.
Indiana did. They lost their quarterback, torn ACL.
You know what? It didn't even look like it. It was like I thought maybe it was his what do you call it? His Achilles tendon. That's what I thought, but it was an ACL tear.
Right.
Yeah, they said ACL.
ACL, yeah.
Damn, but he was just running. It didn't seem like he did anything awkward or nothing.
Yeah, well,
it's sad, man. He was having a great year.
Yeah, so I got to take Wisconsin, knowing that he's out for the rest of the year.
No, the backup did pretty good too, bro. He did pretty good too.
Steve Smith, who you got?
Man, I'm gonna roll this dice on Paul Chris, Wisconsin.
All right, Steve Brown, who you got?
I'm still going with Indiana, man. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. If Indiana play Ohio State again this year, they'll beat them. Well, no, they won't because the quarterback's gone. But yeah,
well,
whatever.
they should have beat them the first time. Too many turnovers first half. They went in too much of a hole that first half.
Yep.
If they had came out and played the way they played the second half, the first half, they would have beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
All right, Iowa State versus West Virginia.
When do they play? Shit.
I'm taking West Virginia.
I'm going West Virginia also.
I'm going West Virginia because I'm just going West Virginia.
This is the weirdest game on the schedule, man. I like Coach Campbell, but West Virginia be burning couches. Give me fire and couches, West Virginia.
That's right.
Yeah,
How
Iowa
the
State
hell you-
struggled with Texas last week. They struggled with Texas. They look horrible at times.
My question is, how the hell you know all these people by their first name? I just know them by Coach this. You know everybody.
A lot of studying, man. A lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a rivalry game. Of course, it's not as strong as it used to be. Number 6, Florida versus Tennessee.
Florida.
Hey,
He wastes no time.
Kevin just gave up on Tennessee. He's like, number 6 Florida versus Florida. Shit. He didn't even get the 10. He just Florida.
I think Tennessee, they're just struggling right now, and you know, Florida's got it going. Pruitt may get them ready by next year and everything, but I just think I don't think they're gonna beat Florida.
I think Florida struggled with Kentucky that first half last week. Another game that cost me money, but
Hey, Marvin.
listen, I took the
you
first
better
half on that game.
You just gonna restock and sell some more of these.
Yeah.
All they had to do was go into halftime up by 14, and I would have won on the money line. But no, they turned the ball over, and then Buddy muffed that punt, and they let Kentucky take the lead on them. And I almost went into the halftime leading on them. I'm like, come on, man. How? So yeah, if they play better than if they play like they played in the second half, they'll be fine.
Hey man, well, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what y'all seeing, but Florida is just not impressive to me. Their defense, I think their defense is worse than ours. They're just not impressive to me. They're just not impressive to me.
Anybody can put up points on them. We can get together and go out there and probably put up 14 on them.
No, we can't. No.
All right, game of the weekend for us. Number 1, Alabama versus LSU. More so, what do y'all want to see in this game? We know who's going to win.
I want to see 56-3. That's what I want to see.
Kevin, what do you want to see?
Just basically a dominant performance, offense, defense, special teams. I think it's going to happen. I think LSU can be on the field with us.
Kevin don't give a damn. Look at him. He don't give a damn. Kevin ready to get back to his pot roast. Kevin hungry. Kevin want to be with us.
Hey, double pot roast, bro.
Hey,
double pot roast, bro. Double pot roast, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, look in the camera and look at Kevin. He don't like no damn body on here. He don't even want to be here. Look at him.
I do want to be here. What you talking about? My food is behind me waiting on me, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
My wife brought my plate in here.
Go ahead. Go ahead and eat. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're wrapping up. All right, Stephen Smith. What do you think?
Oh man, in this game, complete domination. But what I want to see in this game, Daniel Wright, stop trying to make a play all the time and just play football.
Kevin, I need you to work with Daniel Wright, man.
I mean, can somebody please tell Buddy? Somebody please tell Buddy, stop trying to play hero ball. Just do your job.
Number
three. Number three.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that looked lost, his 2 left shoes, the bottom there. the boy that looked completely lost out there. Number 3.
Oh, I got to keep an eye on him because definitely you've been keeping all 4 on him. I got to keep an eye on him.
Put your glasses on though when you do.
Yeah.
All right. Before we head out, a couple of news and notes. Marvin, we've talked about your book. Tell us what's going on this week, some success stories, and just what's going on with it.
You know,
here we go. Here we go. Here's naked ass.
so if you want to talk about naked asses, let's talk about you, right?
Hey, man.
Hey, Steve, I think you win the award.
Hey, Marvin. When you put that shot on Steven, like, what the hell? Come back, Justin. Come back, Justin.
I'm trying.
Well, the book is doing what the book does. It's continuing to sell. I enjoy
Hey,
getting messages.
hold on, bro. You cannot talk about your book with that background. You can't do that.
I'm about to pass out.
Somebody that didn't know what was happening. They were like,
all right, we'll go this direction then.
Hold on, what? Hold on, what? Hold on, what's going on?
Marvin, that's gonna be our new logo next season for our podcast.
Hey, look, hey, Kevin looks so damn uncomfortable with him. Hey, man, Kevin was like, his wife like, baby, I think they're coming out the closet.
This is an intervention, actually.
Oh man.
But the book is doing what the book does. I'm enjoying all the people sending me all the success stories and how well it's treating them, man. It was good to hear from Andrew Zhao and the fact that he's loving it, that it's working for him. Oh, man, when I tell you, it has been nothing but amazing results. So if you hadn't picked up your copy yet, go ahead and go 40plusstrong.com. Grab your copy. I'm here to help you any way I can.
That's what's up.
A couple other programs to be on alert for here for the Sportscast. Tyler Turner show is on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Central.
It's not better than ours.
No, because he talks about the Big 12, the Big 10, and the Pac-12. So, and then on Thursday, the Jones and Arocho show, just two guys from Jersey talking about sports and whatever comes to their mind, which they will be talking about the Tyson fight this Thursday. So I'm sure that will be very entertaining. Marvin, who we have next week?
I invited somebody. I don't know if he. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's gonna show up because he's really not a stand-up guy right now. I invited Nate Robinson, but I don't.
He's gonna be promoting Serta mattresses.
Bruh said I'm gonna bring up Nate Robinson.
I don't know who we gonna have yet. We'll make it a surprise. We'll make sure it's a good one though. I can promise you that. It's always good ones every week, right? So we know it's gonna be good.
All right, guys. Before we get out of here, can we go around the room? Give us some closing remarks. What's going on next for you, and then also how we can contact you on social media. Kelvin, we'll start with you.
Just getting ready for our spring season. I'm here at Jacksonville State as defense coordinator, going to my third year. We had a fall season with, like I say, 3-1. Then we got a spring season for our FCS season. We'll play a 7-game regular season conference, and then we'll have playoffs and everything. But we love having everybody to come, support us. With the fans and everything, we're not going to have full capacity and everything, but if you ever get out here in Jacksonville, Alabama, we'd love to have you to a game.
Hey, listen, I'm going to hold you to that because one of my cousins is actually a freshman at JSU right now, and I told her I was going to come down there and check her out. So I would love to come down there, come to a game, see y'all, man, and make sure you tell your wife I said hello, man. It's been a long time, man. We wish you nothing but the best, brother. Blessings to you, and I hope you had fun. Thank you for giving us your time, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, man. Hey, Kevin. I don't know, Kevin. I don't know if anybody asked you or not, and I'm gonna ask you: Are you interested in and coming and taking the defensive coordinator job at Bama. We would love to have you. Yeah.
Any opportunity I would love, but I'm excited where I'm at. So hey, I'm not
Well,
looking.
no, let me say no more, brother. Let me make some calls.
Got the razor phone.
Yeah.
That ain't even a razor. That
Steve Smith.
raisin.
Steve Smith, can you tell us what's coming up next for you? Please promote your show. We touched on it a little bit earlier. In my own words, Stephen Smith, one of the best shows through the week during college football season. Please tune into that. But go ahead, tell us what's going on with you, how we can contact you, all that good stuff.
I'm having so much fun on the show tonight, man. Steve Brown got me about to cry. I mean, I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, so the show is in my own words every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on YouTube. We laugh, we have fun, we talk Tide football. So you call in, you get your opinions out there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This weekend, your boys headed to Baton Rouge to cover this game. So yeah.
All right, so look, if you see a 758-5444, I'm calling the show. So look out for me, okay? I'm gonna call you.
I got you.
But if you see a 759-33332, I'm calling this one. If you see a 424, that's a Vespa number. I got this one. So yeah, someone call the show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So just pick up.
Please tell me when you do. But Steve, tell us what's going on next with you. Like I said, you had a great show this past weekend in Jackson. We're really glad you came out. What's coming up next with you?
Hey man, I will be in Charleston, South Carolina this Friday, Macon, Georgia Saturday, and of course we got the Yeah We Talk Like This show on YouTube. If you hadn't seen it, check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It is really, really crazy. Justin, you and Marvin, check it out. I'm inviting everybody to check it out, man. Make sure you subscribe. The Yeah We Talk Like This show. And that's it. That's about it, man. Besides doing virtual comedy shows and hanging with y'all, Yeah.
That's what's up. No, great time, guys. I really appreciate everybody coming on. Just fantastic. Kelvin, thank you so much for giving us 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back. But I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, Steve Smith.
Wait a minute. One more thing. One more thing. I'm sorry. Look, let's make Kevin mad. Let's start the show over. Start over.
Hey, Kelvin.
Man, we're going to be longer than a church service at New Testament.
Did I not tell you was going to have fun on here, though?
Oh, I had fun. That's so crazy. He always make me laugh now.
Hey, man. Much love to y'all. Hey, man, we'll get down to Jackson and check you out. Real talk, man.
Yeah, same here.
Much love to y'all. Now, holler at y'all later, man.
All right, man.
Guys. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Right, Tide.